Pippa, I need you to get a 3D model so you can hit this immediately. You know, I've had a 3D model for like a year and I just haven't been able to get myself to debut it. I recently got a message from management. They were like, oh, we're looking at fixing up your 3D model. Like, do you have any, like, please send us like a list of changes and stuff you'd like done to it. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I booted it up. It looked fine to me. Whatever. Doing 3D tracking fucking sucks. I have messed with 3D tracking a lot. And Mokapia is garbage and constantly disconnects on top of being a nightmare to reconnect. Taking upwards of 15 minutes to reconnect. Yeah, there's a reason why the Mokapi fad died pretty fucking fast. It's because Mokapi is garbage. And then I have Vive trackers that maybe there's a better way to use the ones that I have, but I have like the 3.0s or not the 3.0. I have the Vive Ultimate trackers, which apparently were like the biggest mistake you could make. Because on one hand, they're nice because they don't need base stations. But on the other hand, they're not compatible really with like any fucking software. Like if you want to do tracking, it's like the Vive 3.0s or the 2.0s or whatever. There's also like Slime VR, but that's also like always sold out. Full body tracking suit. Having put on, you know, I own an Xsense suit. I own one of the most expensive full body tracking setups on the market outside of like the light-based trackers. And that shit breaks fucking constantly. It breaks fucking constantly. I constantly have to reconfigure it. And that's another one where it's like every time anything gets busted because it's like gyroscopic base tracking. If you don't know what I'm talking about, basically gyro-based tracking for like 3D tracking, there's a little ball inside of the tracker, and depending on the orientation of the ball, that sends the data to the tracker, to the computer, that tells you what position like that joint is in, basically, or that part of your body is in. And they love to break! It's the ball motion suit? No. The ball motion suit is a light-based tracker. So what those ones are is you need a bunch of lights. That's like what Doobie uses. And then you put on the suit and there's like the little balls and the track's based on like lighting. That's too expensive. I'm not gonna do that. Fillion, as far as I know, right, she uses a Valve Index and I think Valve Index and like Vive trackers or something. Not the Vive Ultimates, but like the Vive 2.0 or the 3.0 or whatever. What a fucking pain. I don't like it. I don't like doing 3D. It's a fucking nightmare. It's a fucking hassle. And I would rather just hit the go live button. And not only do I not have a time limit on my stream, but also I don't have to do a bunch of fucking prep work trying to make sure the trackers are working today. And then I don't have to go on server, blah, trackers are working, blah, 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 blah. First of all, it hurts to wear. And I'm just like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to stream in pain. Why would I voluntarily do that to myself? Because some people would prefer me to be in 3D. I'm not going to do it. I'll say in another lifetime, I already went through that and it's not worth it. All right? It's not fucking worth it. I don't enjoy doing it. I will be angry and miserable and in pain. Try the Connect. The girl said they loved working with you, you know? Then that's great. Anytime we have a 3D event together, I'm sure they'll have a good time then if they enjoy me being around. But I would never go out of my way to do that kind of content. I'll do it for other people. I'll do it for like important events and shit, but I'm not going like, I would rather be 2D. Can't you just use it for face tracking only? What? I don't know what you mean. Most 3D doesn't have face tracking. Oh, like, do you mean like just have like a 3D model and then just only have face tracking? Why would I do that? It looks worse. It looks worse in my personal opinion. I don't visually, I don't like it. I would rather look at myself like this. Name one good 3D model. Oh yeah, Sarwe. Sarwe has a really fucking good 3D model. Sarwe's 3D is fucking fantastic. That's my personal taste. That's not an objective, you're bad if you use 3D or whatever. My personal taste, I would rather look at 2D. So then it's like compounded, right? It's like people, like, what's like a good example of this? There's like somebody asking like, hey man, why don't you get like a fucking iPhone? And you're like, I don't know, because my Android does everything that I need it to. And I don't want to have to I don't want to have to spend more money to learn how to use an iPhone and then be locked out of a bunch of the shit that I already like having. And I like my phone and I like the way my phone looks. And people are like, oh, well, but the iPhone is better, but you can do all this other stuff with your iPhone. And it's like, yeah, but I like what I can do with my my Android. I don't know. I guess like I'm like being a little bit defensive, but after like so long, I guess I get sick of people trying to like force their ideals onto me, I guess. I get really tired of people who are like, it's like they prefer 3D, right? Like they want me to be 3D because it's what they like. And it's like, well, like I'm not Fillion, bro. You can't turn me into Fillion. I'm not Fillion. I'm not Starway. Like I'm not Zentreya. I am me. I just think 3D is a gimmick. I don't think 3D is just a gimmick, but it is. I do think it's like a preference thing. Part of it's probably as well, like in my mind, I like subconsciously, I view 3D models as being, this is like really elitist. But it's just like the way my brain has been like formed where I'm like, I don't know why I ever talk about this. A lot of people weren't around for this. And so it's very like alienating for a lot of people, but whatever. In the very early days of the EN VTubing sphere, most people's models were like Vroid models. And so Vroid is like a free software from Pixiv you can use to create like your own anime character in 3D. And so, like, most people were 3D. Most people in the beginning of the EN sphere were actually 3D because it was so expensive to get a live 2D model. First of all, there was like nobody in the West. Like there were some people you could get. There were some Western artists you could get VTuber models from, but most of them like didn't know how to like cut the models up or anything, like to be rigged. And then like finding somebody to do the rigging, like it was completely different back then. Like back then, it's like when Iron Vertex became a thing, like that was a huge deal. Now everybody knows Iron Vertex is like they're another rigging company of many. But back in the day when Iron Vertex like first announced themselves, it's like, whoa, this is a big deal. Getting an Iron Vertex model is like endgame. And then there was like DD Mavis Vroid models. Like if you had a DD Mavis Vroid model, that was also huge. Unironically, if you wanted to get rigging done back in the day, you'd go on Fiverr. There were also Koikatsu 3D models. Those were less common, but yeah, Vikatsu, it was a version of Koikatsu that was just like the dress up elements. And Vikatsu had a built-in VTuber system. So you could do face tracking and stuff directly through Vikatsu, which is how Kaison's original VTuber model was made. And there was also, I'm blanking on her name, but there was like another girl. She was Japanese. I think she had like pink hair and like a green dress or something. And she was one of like the early Japanese streamers that began like pandering to the EN market back when there wasn't a lot in the EN market, and so she got decently popular off of that. And she had a Vikatsu model. I don't know if anybody remembers her name. Ami Yamato was 2017. Yes, but there wasn't a sizable VTuber community in EN until like 2020. I've gotten cynical talking about shit like this. I'm not gonna lie, I should just get into the game. I've gotten a little bit cynical talking about stuff like this because it's one of those things where like I was there and I was heavily invested, and there's all like I'm gonna say it like bluntly, all right? There's all these like new people who weren't around for it, and all they know is like Wikipedia articles and depressed Nosagi videos. Like they don't know, they weren't there for it. They don't know what they don't know. And it's like, that's fine, but don't talk to me. I'm arrogant and angry about it because it's like I was there. I was in the EN sphere. I was a fan of VTubers before HoloLive came to the West, bro. I applied for their first gen. I'm just like, ah! Keep that gate, Pippa. There's no gate. There's not enough of like a centralized VTuber community. Dogobongo, thank you. Do not recite the old magic to me. I was there when it was written. Yeah, unironically, man. Dan Maxi, thank you. Tell us about the ancient text, Pippa. I know some people will be like, oh, Pippa like only cares now to like flex knowledge and stuff. It's like, man, I used to make fucking VTuber lore shorts. I care about VTubers. I have always cared a lot about VTubers. And to see fucking new friends come in and they're like, hey, I mean, yeah, I only started watching VTubers like 3 years ago, but here's my opinion. I don't care what your opinion is. It's not worth anything. You like, when people talk about Coco and it's like, you didn't watch Coco. You came in after she was graduated. I lived that. You weren't there. Radar warning, $1,000. Okay, Grandma, let's get you to bed. Ah! I hate that. It's one of the most annoying things. There's like specific topics that are like such a red flag for me, where people begin to talk about them. Like they'll bring them up like it's a fucking elite ball knowledge, and I'm like, I'm just gonna fucking send you to hell, man. I'm just gonna fucking tie you up and leave you in a dumpster and hope that you get dropped into one of the ones that compresses them into a cube, because I can't stand you. Honestly, I hate you. CPPC deck, thank you for $2. Pour one out for the dead homies. Pokemon, thank you. I only started watching VTubers 3 years ago. The first VTuber I watched was Pipkinpippa. Here are my opinions. Ah! Ah! Oh god, it has been an hour of complaining though. That's been an hour of me complaining the dead quiet.